reporting live to you guys from Creighton University. Right here, right now, Eliza and I are here. And we're coming to you live, and we're going to talk about MedLife. We're going to give you a 411 on everything there is to know about it, and we're really excited to chat because it's cool. It's going to be so fun, and we're so glad you're joining us today. MedLife.
Cut.
Sorry.
Hey y'all, welcome back. We've moved inside now because it's cold out.
Warmer conditions.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking to you about, and MedLife's mission statement is that they want to build a worldwide movement empowering the poor in their fight for equal access to healthcare, education, and a safe home.
That was very nicely said, Eliza. I could not have said it better. Now, when looking at like the Jesuit mission and some of like the Jesuit values, which is really what MedLife revolves its whole mission around, it was stated by the Creighton mission statement that leadership is having concern and care for the personal development of the whole person and dedication to promoting human dignity. So by MedLife taking the time to go to these developing areas and to really like hone in on what they truly need, whether it's medical care, attention, relief from poverty, they're really looking at the nitty-gritty of the whole problem.
Exactly, Anna. And when we're talking about empowering the poor, we're specifically referring to how MedLife incorporates their acronym of MedLife into their mission statement and how they use that to make a change in the world. And MedLife's acronym stands for the Medicine, Education, and Development for Low-Income Families Everywhere. And they take their mission and they go out to different third world countries around the world, such as Nicaragua, Peru, Tanzania, and they use their ability of volunteering and funding and everything to make a difference in changing people's lives. Hey, MedLife also has multiple values and principles that back up their mission statement as well as their prospects for a brighter future. And some of those would include listening, looking at different root causes of poverty, sustainability and value-added solutions, structural violence and a preferential option for the poor, as well as collaborative and educational volunteering for the volunteers, rigorous giving and investment, and finally, transparency to inspire donor confidence.
Yes. And so when I first was choosing Creighton, they have a mission that revolves around men and women for others. And so when Eliza and I were really trying to like choose what topic, because we knew we wanted to do it together and we knew that we were both in MedLife, so we thought this was the perfect opportunity to talk about a community we truly cared for. And one of the readings that truly hit home for both of us was the reading from Pope Arupe, in which he stated about justice as...
I'm so sorry.
And one of the readings that truly hit home for Eliza and I was the one from Father Arupe, in which he was talking about justice being defined as an attitude not simply of refusal, but of counterattack against injustice, a decision to work with others toward the dismantling of unjust social structures so that the weak, the oppressed, the marginalized of the world may be set free. And Eliza's kind of going to expand on this and what that truly means to the MedLife mission.
Exactly. So Father Arupe basically said in his writing that what is the purpose of being part of mankind if it's not to be at the service of others? And for us, we believe that MedLife incorporates its mission into the Jesuit values as well as throughout the idea of defining intellect, and Anna will expand on that a little later, but back to the idea of connecting to those Jesuit mission values with Creighton specifically. MedLife seeks to make a change in not only areas that are third world and very poor, but also areas that you find right in your own community. And being in Omaha, we find that there is a lot of poverty there that does need our attention and does need help, funding, volunteering, and just general service. So MedLife also has a chapter here at Creighton that goes out to different areas in Omaha, and one of the biggest ones is the food bank for the Heartland, and they do a lot of food services there, and as well as like packing meals for the kids and everything. Oh my gosh.
She's still a little cold from the weather. And so that is like one thing Eliza and I are like truly excited about to be a part of this, is that they do go out into the Omaha community and then abroad, which is something that's truly cool, and Eliza and I hope to like be able to do together in the coming years, like being a part of it on Creighton and just like expanding our like knowledge about MedLife near and abroad.
Definitely. It truly allows for us to have the opportunity to make a difference, not only outside of the United States, but also right within our own community where we are living, because we find that you have to also be paying attention to areas that you live with, because they also need your help, and it's not just about making the biggest impact, but sometimes it's the smallest things that make the biggest changes. Where did we leave off?
We just talked about
What was the last thing we said, so that we know how to jump back.
Thank you, guys. So yes, Eliza, these changes happen over time. They can happen on the ground, person to person, and it's definitely about more like those people really integrating themselves into the community to truly hit the core of what the true issue is at hand.
Definitely. And speaking of true issues at hand, we also wanted to talk about the reading from Carmen Kynard and how she wanted to use her reading to destroy stereotypes of what groups of people. That sounds awful. That sounds so bad. Oh,
just keep going.
Okay, we'll cut that out.
Okay. Or it might be like good. So, guys, as you know, YouTube's all about finding your persona. No, we should probably just cut that out. Okay. So yes, Eliza, these changes will happen on the ground, person to person, and it's really about like people integrating themselves into the communities to hit the core of the issue, so they truly can be like innovators and active members of the community.
Definitely, Anna. And speaking of incorporating those into the communities, Carmen Kynard, her reading was all about creating a defense against stereotypes and essentially breaking down those barriers that people create that form stereotypes. And what MedLife seeks to do and how that relates to Carmen Kynard's writing is that MedLife seeks to destroy the stereotypes that people create with the ideas of what poverty is and how people get into situations that they do, whether that's in third world countries or right in your own community, such as Omaha. And what she seeks to do and how MedLife seeks to change those stereotypes are very interconnected in that they both want to change the world to create it into a more positive space and an area that's way more accepting, where people look past your differences and look past those stereotypes and rather seek to form a better and brighter future rather than to withhold you back from creating a better future through the stereotypes that you have been put upon.
Yes, Eliza, I actually love that thing, because throughout like all my years of like being in like community organizations, it truly is like when people see everyone as equals, you get way more work done, and everyone just seems like they're more of an activist for each other as opposed to against each other. And so I definitely agree with what you just said, Eliza, and definitely Kynard's reading definitely is very powerful in that sense.
Yeah, and then lastly, what we wanted to talk about, probably one of the biggest parts of MedLife, are the different opportunities that you have to get involved with this organization on campus. We are very lucky and very blessed to have a chapter right here at Creighton University in Omaha, and how you can get involved with MedLife, there are pretty much very, very many ways that you can get involved, but three main ways through the chapter here. And the first one is through donations, obviously, but since we are broke college students, we can't always do that. There are certain ways that you can raise funds with MedLife, but there are also huge local opportunities, such as going to the food bank for the Heartland, and other different organizations such as the Sienna Francis House and different ones that MedLife chooses to visit throughout the year. And finally, there is the big service learning abroad trip, which Anna is going to talk to you about.
Yes. So guys, I just found out about like 2 weeks ago that I like got accepted into the trip, and so I'm super excited. It's going to be from March 7th to 15th. It's this upcoming spring break in 2020. And so I'm super excited. It's in Cusco, Peru. And so the big thing with MedLife is like establishing mobile clinics. And so that's like their big mission. That's one of the things they're most well known for, is they actually will bring everything from like emergency kits to IVs to like different like medications that like these people need, that they're like very like deprived of. Oh God, hey guys, the ringer would have gone off. Yes, so I'll be in Cusco, Peru for the week, working with mobile clinics and truly like immersing myself into the Spanish culture, but also like into the health culture and like developing countries, and like really seeing how developing countries are trying to fight these global epidemics on a ground level, like surface, but then they're also digging deeper with like organizations coming to like really provide healthcare. So 4 years ago, I took a service trip to the Dominican Republic. That was for like health and Spanish immersion. I told Eliza this over lunch the other day. And so I've always loved like languages and reading about pandemics. And so it wasn't really in the DR until I truly like first experienced hands-on medical care. And so this is something I'm really excited about, because this will be my like second experience dealing with hands-on medical care and truly like looking at the patient, seeing what's wrong, investigating the matter, and then how can you like see a problem and execute a solution. So that's gonna be like MedLife's big thing, and like being a freshman on the trip, it's gonna be really cool to see how the execs, after going like multiple times, how they've really like become known to how to deal with certain issues, how to really like see a problem and be like the best benefactor to solve that problem. And so one thing I really noticed on the DR trip that I'm sure I'll also see with MedLife is that even simple skin abrasions on some of these patients, they can be really severe, and they need like strictly like prominent treatment. And so on the trip, I hope to like seek out materials from my program leaders and to like really help these patients. And I definitely don't want to sit back. I definitely want to be right in there, getting the most of my experience. And so I think it'll be an awesome experience. I think Eliza and I are going to try and do like a follow-up video to like kind of I can talk about like my experience in Cusco, and then like her and I's experience, maybe like the food bank or like other people's like experience we've heard about that we really liked. And ultimately, like my main goal from this trip is that it's more than an experience to travel, because of course, yes, it's cool like you're going abroad with your friends from Creighton, but this is truly like a way to expand your attitude and understanding of healthcare in developing countries, and seeing how my efforts, my friends' efforts at MedLife as a whole unit, their efforts cure global pandemics such as Ebola, HIV, and even flu. And like Eliza said before, and it's so accurate, is that it's even the small steps we take that truly do make an impact in our society, especially in developing countries.
Yeah, and we are so proud of Anna that she's going on this trip.
Thank you.
And while she's taking a big step towards change, I'll be taking small steps towards change by staying here in Omaha to do service with the food bank. I actually applied to the trip also, but I didn't get accepted, but that's okay. I can always go next year. So Anna's going to be going to Peru, and I'll be staying here to do some service over spring break and everything. Yeah, and I guess we just kind of wanted to conclude to you guys by starting out and saying that what our favorite Jesuit value is, which is men and women for and with others. And essentially, because Jesuits teach to live life through intellectual competence and live with a mission to serve others, this value is super important to us and to MedLife, because it is involved with how we treat other people on a daily basis, as well as when we go and do service for them.
Yes, and so basically their slogan is all about building communities with lots of groups on campus. And Eliza and I are definitely people, and we can vouch this, that want to grow through our service, and we definitely value service with one another, with other people. And so Men and Women for Others, they basically devote themselves to live not for themselves, but for God and Christ. And so Eliza and I definitely live our lives like with this in the back of our heads, like 24/7. And so furthermore, this is our favorite Jesuit value together, because Men and Women for Others live not only for their interests, but care about the interests of others too.
Yes, and this value certainly plays into how we choose to live our lives, as we have talked about in the video. Even just the simplest things, such as saying hi to a friend, can be the difference in their day. And finally, we wanted to conclude by saying that based on MedLife's mission and values, as well as their principal values and guiding statements, that this is truly an organization that cares about people being directly involved in changing the world, be that through small acts of kindness or large acts of kindness. And this organization believes in connecting people together through service, as well as making you part of that difference, and that the difference can be you and how you change the world.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. It was awesome to tell you about MedLife and why we're so passionate about this organization.
And we're just so happy you guys got to move. You got to see us outside, and now you got to see us inside. And so we're just happy that we got to like take the time with you guys today. And we really hope you enjoy our maps. They were drawn by Eliza. She spent a lot of hard sweat and tears over those, and they look amazing. So I hope you guys enjoy those. And that's what's coming next.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Eliza. Okay, so I know that my voice sounds absolutely horrible because we're filming this 2 days apart, but like, I don't know. So I'm here to talk to you guys about the map of Omaha, and essentially what you have here is the main map of Nebraska and where Omaha is kind of located on the Nebraska map. And then you have 2 pink dots on the Omaha, Nebraska area. The first one is for the relative location of where Creighton University is in Omaha, and the other one is the relative location for the food bank of the Heartland. And in the bottom left, you have an image of the food bank for the Heartland, which is the service site location that MedLife volunteers at frequently in Omaha, and they take their students that are part of the chapter to the food bank. And essentially when we're talking about looking at the food bank for the Heartland and how that connects to MedLife's mission and its values, we're really trying to focus in on how MedLife chooses to put others first and their value of believing that we are at the service of others. And truly we're trying to fit that back into the mission of Creighton University, so all different locations are tied together: the food bank, Creighton, and MedLife and its chapter.
Hey everyone, so it's Anna here, and you guys are looking at a map of the Cusco community. This is where I'll be going over spring break, right there in Peru. So on the left side of Eliza's beautifully drawn map, we can see Cusco, Peru highlighted in purple. And sorry, it's highlighted in gray. Cusco, Peru is the specific part of Cusco that MedLife travels to. That's the part in purple. Then at the bottom you'll see a mobile clinic. So this will be an example of what we bring. And we literally put them up for the week that we're there, and then we take it all down. So it's a lot of work, but it's like a lot of work that's very well established and means a lot to the community. And over to the right, you'll see kind of like an example of like the rocky, unstable conditions that MedLife works through. So we're definitely not going to any paved streets, any communities that are very well established, so it's truly a learning experience in that as well. And so I hope you really enjoyed this map, and I hope that you feel like you were there in Cusco with me. And it's just so nice that you guys got to see like an image of what Eliza and I talked about throughout this video.